Hey guys, Kapper here and welcome back to another exciting Illinois self-filmed deer hunt. Pretty much, it's going to be fun either way. But today's episode focuses on this guy over here. I passed up this buck during bow season with my new Raven. He came out and obviously I could have harvested him, but I didn't, which ironically a huge buck came out that same evening, which is a whole nother story. These guys are buddies, huh? Ain't you, guy? So anyways, this is at least a 3-year-old, and I videotaped him last year, and I got to thinking, when gun season rolled around, I got to thinking, well, for the overall management plan, do I want this 3-year-old, he's probably about a 90-inch deer, do I want him breeding all the does? So I thought if I get the opportunity, especially to get it on film, I'm going to go ahead and harvest this buck here on the first gun season. So let's go check it out and see what happens to old gnarly buck number 2 this year. The first one was in Kentucky. All right, buddy. Let's go have some fun. Okay, so this is the setup here. As usual, I got my ozonics, and this is facing due north, which is going to come in play here shortly when I show you the wind direction. So the deer are already starting to funnel out. As usual, I have everything blacked out. I have curtains across the windows. I have extra shirts. Like you can see there, the wind is coming right at my face. I've got all 4 directions blacked out, and it was a really nice evening, which I enjoy sitting on nice evenings, but here they're going to start piling out downwind. I mean immediately downwind, and I'm talking about mature does here. So I'm going to show you this corner here where they pile out of, and several of these mature does just sat there and tested the wind. I mean straight downwind. Right here you could see the flap blowing just a little bit, and you could point an arrow right to these does that are downwind, and they tested the wind for quite a while. So once they figured it was safe, they came out, and for, I'm talking about an hour, I had no less than 3 deer immediately downwind of me, and I never got busted. Without the setup, this buck would have never come out. So the buck I was after, I was actually hoping a different buck was going to come out, because I had come home here on our driveway and I saw a beautiful mature buck standing in the power line watching me, and I put my binoculars on him from my truck, and he was a beauty, and a very beautiful mature deer. Long tines, very sweeping brow tines. Sweeping main beams that almost touched. So I ran home, grabbed an orange hat and vest, grabbed a shotgun, and I tried to put a stalk on him here, and he was already gone, but he had jumped in that cedar thicket. So that's kind of why I chose this blind. So I was hoping that that buck was the one that was going to come out. Needless to say, it wasn't him that came out, it was this other gnarly buck. Okay, so back to the stand. This doe, she did catch my track. She scented my track, she followed it, and she didn't like it. I don't think she could tell it was human, but from my police days and tracking criminals working with the canine, I know animals can sometimes, they can track you by like freshly disturbed earth. So they know something has recently walked there, because I'm suspecting if she knew it was a human, she would have snorted and took off. But she just didn't like my track. But she did stay in the area after she gave up for a while. She couldn't scent anything else. So let's see what happened next. So as the evening progressed, I was pretty much covered up in deer in all 4 directions. And the ones that came out of that corner kept looking back. So I knew there was a buck in there. He hung out in there probably for about a half hour, because they kept looking back, but I knew a buck was coming out, and I knew it was a mature buck, because 2-year-olds just don't hang in there like that. And this is how it went down. Yeah, and real quick, I'm not preaching here, but I'm trying to help people because I used to not believe in scent control and that. So you look at these old mature does here, you'll see she's testing the wind all the way. So if you practice really strict scent control, if these deer would have busted me downwind, the game would have been totally over. So it's not just the ozonics, but it's a super strict regiment of scent control. So I felt really good about that. So like I said, I had deer downwind all evening, and then the buck came out, and of course he was immediately downwind as well. Okay, so now comes the fun of self-filming. If you have never done it, you probably don't appreciate how challenging it can be at times. So I had my camera on one of the shelves in the blind, and I had to put I put one of my t-shirts under it. I couldn't get a tripod in that tight spot. So here I'm bundling up a t-shirt trying to get the camera to sit still. And of course these deer are probably 40 yards here, and I got a scoped slug gun, so that's not going to be a problem. It's just trying to get it on video is going to be the challenge. So let's kind of see just how it played out. Okay, so here I thought I had it all set up, ready to go, and then the camera actually falls off the shelf, and I actually catch it. Amazingly enough, I catch it when it falls off of the shelf, and then I try to reset it up in this same window. So that's right, the camera actually fell, and I tried to put it back up because now he's walking closer. He's hearing all this clunking around, and he's looking in the blind, and he's walking closer towards this other window now. So I was actually able to pick the camera up and try to refocus it, but it won't zoom, it won't turn on. It's saying it's got an error in the camera. So I'm like, piss on it, I have to take this shot. This thing is right here at like 10-15 yards right now, and of course this is all you're gonna see right here. So just try self-filming someday and enjoy some fun. Okay, I don't know if I broke my camera or not, but he did a cartwheel about 80 yards up there. Let's go check him out. Okay, so then there's still deer out in the field, so I'm blessed to have a wonderful wife, but she comes and rescues me. She'll bring the side-by-side out and bust the deer out that way, which gives me an idea. I mean, if you bought one of them big like 4-foot remote control things, you could probably drive it out and bust the deer out that way so they don't see you coming out of the blind. But that's just one of them small chess moves that if you don't have to bust them out with a human training them on the blinds, you just keep your property fresher. So let's go check out this buck. Let's go check him out. This is the one I thought it was. I videotaped him earlier this year and passed him up. But when I saw him, his body size and how big he was, I knew he was an old deer. So some call it a management buck, but he's a trophy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pointer. Just ugly down here.